We got some juicy rumors involving some tampering, the other capital that was given possibly for Matthew Stafford from other teams, and the Lions wanted Jared Goff.
It's LeGarrette Blunt here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, Micro Mike, man.
Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch Micro Mike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron. Big shout out to Micro Mike and the YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
What is going on, YouTube, and welcome to Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike. We talk all things Detroit Lions, news, rumors, analysis, breakdown, and everything regarding our franchise. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some rumors that finally dropped after the big trade that took over the weekend. We've been waiting to see the juicy insider view of what was going on regarding the Lions inside deals, Matthew Stafford, obviously the other trade offers from other football teams. Did the Lions get the best of it? And with the other offers, does it show that the Detroit Lions really wanted Jared Goff? Let's go ahead and start with tampering, because this one's very juicy as well. Reports came out from Albert Breer that Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, they actually had dinner a week prior to the deal taking place. Now you may ask, that the Detroit Lions already made it known that they were going to shop Matthew Stafford. That's perfectly fine, but you have to have it in writing when you're going to meet up with somebody and talk over dinner. Now, the reports are that they walked into each other. Yeah, we all know that's BS. And the fact that other teams may be upset about this, the Carolina Panthers, the Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears, the Patriots, the 49ers, because they wanted to get Matthew Stafford as well. They may view that as a insider's track towards getting the deal done, and that hurt their cause to potentially get Matthew Stafford. Now, the Detroit Lions does not have to be the team to send the league office for tampering. That could be anyone. It could be another team in the trade talks for the Detroit Lions. So this is going to be very interesting going forward, what happens, if anything happens, regarding that. Now, if you know, about 10 years ago, the Detroit Lions were talked about as tampering. We lost a draft pick from the Kansas City Chiefs, so it can happen. The league has done it before because the Lions were the back end of that. Comment: did the Detroit Lions get the best offer for Matthew Stafford? This is simple. That's going to be the pinned comment of this video. All you got to do is Y for yes, and for no, and if you want to get more descriptive, that's perfectly fine. But let's talk about this and turn this into a forum. Other trade offers. The other trade offers that were put on the table is finally come out, and they are juicy. Rams actually initially offered just a 2022 first-round pick, Goff an additional pick. So according to this, the Detroit Lions snatched another first-round pick from them. Great work, Detroit Lions. Now, the Washington football team offered their first-round pick, 19th overall, and a third-rounder. So it definitely looks like the Lions got the better end of the deal from that standpoint. But if we go to Carolina Panthers, reports are they offered their first-round pick, 8th overall, and a later pick. I'm curious to see what the later pick was, because the 8th overall pick is very enticing, to say the least. That'd be the 7th and 8th pick. But considering the fact that the Lions got 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick, it looks like the Lions may have got the better end of the draft pick here. That one's still close. But with that said, the Lions got Jared Goff. Now, reports came out that the Detroit Lions wanted Jared Goff and other teams liked him as well. So maybe this is really the fact, and it shows that the Lions pursued Jared Goff. So from that standpoint, the Lions did not do bad. Now, the Indianapolis Colts offered packages and picks and players, but never their first-round pick, the 21st. So, yeah, that's not the good deal. And San Francisco never made an official offer, but Breer believes the 12th overall pick was not going to be on the table, so he wasn't getting it. The Broncos discussed pick swapping, equating to a late first-round pick. Nah, we don't need that deal. Patriots and Bears checked in. New England offered a second-round pick and a player. That wasn't going to happen. And the Jets checked in, but guaranteed they weren't going to give up the number 2 pick. So overall, when you look at these deals, I think the next best offer would have been the Carolina Panthers, because the 8th overall pick is extremely enticing if you ask me. Considering the other ones, they're off the table. Those deals weren't going to happen. They weren't as good as the Rams here. So when you look at it, it's the Rams and the Panthers. And to me, this really gives the idea that the Detroit Lions, they wanted more draft capital, not for this year, but for the next years. And they do view Goff as a starter caliber quarterback. They're not going to turn around and trade him, and they're not just using him for a quarterback to be thrown away. I think they actually believe that he can be a starter for the Detroit Lions for the next couple of years at least, and they actually wanted him under center for the Detroit Lions. So if you look at that from that standpoint, I do believe they got the best deal here, in my opinion. But the Carolina Panthers was a strong deal as well. Either way, it doesn't matter at this point, because the Detroit Lions have made the trade. They got 2 first-rounders, and they got a 3rd-rounder in Jared Goff, and Stafford is now a Los Angeles Ram. Hit that like button. Let's get our voice heard, folks. Again, we're going against a lot of media out there, and when it comes to Detroit, a lot of people like to dog our city and really tear us up. And it's nice to have the voice heard from fan base and from the subscribers yourself. So if you hit that like button, the video gets out and we can get our voice heard. It'll be interesting to see what goes on with this tampering thing going forward. I'm not sure if anything comes of it. Who knows what's going to take place, because the league tends to, I feel in my opinion, they give teams priorities of good and teams priorities of bad. Detroit Lions tend to be on the back end of that side. If it was another team, maybe they would not give the benefit of the doubt and they go ahead and do a issue with the Los Angeles Rams. But since the Detroit Lions, yeah, I don't think probably anything comes of it. But when it comes to the deals, again, it doesn't really matter from this, because the deal is done. I personally like the deal, and do a video of why I like the deal, why I think the deal is really good for the Detroit Lions in a video coming up, and I hope you enjoy that as well. And when it comes to Jared Goff, I think that, again, I think the Detroit Lions did want him, and it gives them flexibility with the 7th pick in the draft. It really does. So they can go ahead and pick the best player available if they want to pick the future quarterback, if they don't believe Goff is there, or if they want to surround weapons. They have multiple avenues they can deal with that 7th pick in the draft. They could trade up, they could trade down, and I think that's a good thing for the Lions. And another thing I want to talk about is sometimes rumors may not be 100% true. In this case, I'm just taking what we see from Albert Breer. I'm taking what we see from the experts out there in the Twitterverse regarding the NFL, and taking with what they say. It could definitely be misinformation or disinformation from other teams, or from the Lions itself, or the parties involved, such as Stafford and Goff. We don't really know, so let's take that with a grain of salt, understanding that it may not 100% be true, going with this trade and going with the tampering and everything else involved. It's really important to have that and not take this to the heart until you get 100% confirmation. This is what it is. But it definitely looks like there's a lot of truth to what's going on, because the draft picks itself was extremely precise down to what was taking place there. I mean, we're talking about first round picks in certain years, and we're talking about specific picks itself, like the 8th pick in the draft. So it definitely looks like there is some smoke to this fire. And regarding the tampering issue, that definitely had to come from a close source, or it's completely made up itself. So that's going to be fun to find out how they got this information out. It had to come from a very close source. We're talking about eating food and having dinner. We're talking about Kelly Stafford, probably, maybe one of the sources. Maybe she leaked that out somehow. I don't know, but is definitely going to be fun to read about and hear about in the upcoming days and weeks going forward about this, because make no mistake about it, this was a blockbuster trade, and it was an earthquake type of trade in the NFL. And so a lot of people want to know all the ins and outs and what happened, what's the truth, what's not the truth, it's one of those deals where we're going to be talking about 10 years from now, because it's that big of a deal. We're talking a first-round pick, swapping for a first-round pick with multiple draft picks, and other teams were offering a top 10 draft pick and players. So this is a trade that's going to be talked about for some time, and I can't wait for all the smoke to clear and get 100% facts on what took place. In future videos, we got the One Pride podcast at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. It's going to be a great show. We got a guest coming on. We're going to talk some Detroit Lions rumors, trades, and news. Stafford and Goff, you want to be there. We got the live mailbag segment. You guys can go ahead and ask us questions, and we will answer. Also, on Tuesday, we got Spiked Kool-Aid on the Gridiron Blitzes channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be really fun. It's a little heated show, and that's something that I think it is nice for Detroit Lions fans. So you don't want to miss out. Make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell.